No one noticed the single man sitting on the cold stone bench near the fountain in Liberty Green Park, Chicago. No one except the little girl tugging gently at his worn jacket sleeve. The city moved fast around them. Buses hissed as they stopped and started. Cars rolled past with tired headlights. Somewhere above, a helicopter hummed softly, circling the skyline like a distant thought. The man's name was Daniel Carter, a former U.S. Army veteran and a single father. His daughter, Emily, was only 7 years old. She had learned early how to stay quiet when her father stared too long at nothing. Daniel wasn't lazy or careless. Life had simply taken more than it gave. After serving overseas, he returned home with memories that didn't sleep and opportunities that never stayed. That evening, Daniel had exactly $12 in his wallet. It was meant for dinner, something small from a corner store. He had promised Emily fries and hot chocolate. She never asked for more than he could give. As Daniel stood to leave, he saw him. A stranger slumped near the bus stop, wrapped in a thin hoodie, his face pale, his hands shaking. A cardboard sign rested against his knee. It didn't ask for money. It read, "Hungry, haven't eaten in 2 days." People walked past, some glanced, most didn't. The city had trained them well. Daniel felt that familiar tightening in his chest, the one that came before a hard choice. Emily looked up at him, her eyes curious but calm. "Daddy," she whispered, "is he okay?" Daniel didn't answer right away. He remembered nights after deployment when he had sat in his car, hungry and ashamed, afraid to ask anyone for help. He remembered how invisible that felt. He walked over. The stranger looked up, startled. His name was Marcus Hill, recently laid off, recently divorced, recently forgotten by the world. Daniel didn't give a speech. He didn't make a show. He simply reached into his wallet, pulled out the $12 and placed it gently into Marcus's hand. "Get something warm," Daniel said quietly. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. "Sir, I can't." "You can," Daniel replied. "I've been where you are." Emily smiled at Marcus and waved. The smallest kindness, but it landed heavy. As Daniel and his daughter walked away, hunger waited for them. Uncertainty walked beside them. But something else followed too, something unseen, something patient, something powerful. Neither of them knew it yet, but that moment on a park bench was about to change everything. That night, Daniel and Emily shared a simple dinner of toast and peanut butter back at their small apartment near South Michigan Avenue. The lights flickered once, then steadied. Emily ate slowly, carefully, as if saving the moment. "Daddy," she said softly, "I'm glad you helped him." Daniel swallowed. "Me too, kiddo." The next morning, Daniel put on his old jacket and walked Emily to school. A city bus roared past, splashing water from the curb. Life went on. It always did. What Daniel didn't know was that Marcus had used the money not only for food, but to charge his phone. With shaking hands, Marcus posted a short message online, not asking for help, not begging, but telling a story. A story about a tired veteran who had nothing left and still chose kindness. He didn't know Daniel's last name. He didn't know his past, but he described the park, the child, the quiet dignity of that moment. By afternoon, the post had been shared thousands of times. By evening, local radio stations were talking about it. A reporter from a Chicago community channel found Marcus at the same bus stop. Cameras rolled, but there was no drama, only gratitude. "We talk a lot about heroes," Marcus said into the microphone. "But sometimes heroes are just dads trying to raise good kids." The next day, Daniel's phone rang. He almost didn't answer. "Mr. Carter," a calm voice said, "this is Sarah Williams from Channel 7 News. We're hopping to talk to you." Daniel's hands trembled. He wasn't looking for attention. He had survived enough noise. But Emily squeezed his hand. "Daddy," she said, "maybe this is good." The interview was simple. They filmed in the park. Leaves moved gently in the wind. Cars passed in the background. A helicopter drifted above the city skyline. Daniel spoke honestly about service, about struggle, about teaching his daughter compassion when the world feels heavy. Within days, letters arrived, job offers, messages from other veterans. A small nonprofit reached out offering housing support. But the biggest change wasn't money or opportunity. It was the way Daniel stood a little taller, the way Emily laughed louder, the way strangers smiled when they recognized them. Kindness had returned, quietly, faithfully, just as it had been given. Weeks later, Daniel returned to Liberty Green Park, this time with steadier steps. Autumn painted the trees gold. Children played near the fountain. A city bus stopped nearby, doors sighing open. Marcus was there too, clean-shaven now, wearing a borrowed suit, holding papers from a new job interview. They hugged, not like strangers, but like brothers who had survived the same storm. "Your kindness saved me," Marcus said. Daniel shook his head. "No, it reminded us both who we are." Emily ran across the grass, laughing freely. Daniel watched her and felt something rare, peace. This story isn't about miracles falling from the sky. It's about a simple choice made by someone who had every reason to hold back, yet chose to give. It's about how kindness moves quietly through big cities and small villages, through parks and bus stops, through hearts that feel empty but aren't. Dear viewers, if this story touched you, please take a moment to comment below. Share your thoughts, your experiences, or even a small act of kindness you've witnessed. Your words matter more than you know. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, like this video and share it with your friends. You never know who might need hope today. And please subscribe to our channel, Kindness Quest. By subscribing, you help us spread real stories, real emotions, and real humanity, one voice at a time. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change everything.